Another nail in the coffin for society or a new lifeline for lonely men? So I was watching a video from Joker, Better Bachelor, and that it's linked in the description. I'm thinking about this right now. This is very interesting. I can't believe what's happening. The soft guy era is literally taking off, but not only that, artificial intelligence is taking away all of these jobs from women. They are losing jobs rapidly. Their jobs are being replaced. And it's like they're still out here trying to say that we're tough and we don't need men, and they have this all over social media, and yet they are crying their eyes out. They're crying their eyes out at the prospect of men basically saying, yeah, well, we're not tolerating anymore. If you want to be in a relationship with us, then you're going to have to bring something. I mean, the jobs that women do are being completely eliminated right now. Let's listen to this a little bit.
Artificial intelligence has become so advanced, it has now surpassed human performance on several basic tasks. That's according to the AI Index report published by the Institute for Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence at Stanford University. The report says AI beat humans on tasks like reading comprehension and image classification. It also says the technology has also made workers more productive, and that AI is advancing scientific discovery. Russell Wald is the deputy director for that institute. He joins me now in the studio. Thanks very much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So give me a sense of the pace. AI is now able to outperform humans. Is that faster than we expected? And what does it tell us about the speed of AI going forward?
It certainly is faster than we expected in terms of pace itself. But it's even more so that we have to now establish new benchmarks because it's continually changing and we can't keep up. And that gap just keeps closing faster and faster.
Now, that's what really fascinates me, the idea of benchmarks. Why do we need new benchmarks?
We need to know if it's actually doing what it claims it can do. And if you're going to measure against what human capability is, that's going to be needed. So image classification for a long time has already been exceeded by AI. But there's other areas of reading comprehension, mathematic comprehension, and things like this. So if you need to be able to see what it is in comparison to the human.
And what I wonder is, when I've talked to some people who are involved in creating these systems, they say that depending on the amount of compute power, that there may be a time, and in fact they may be there already, where AI shows them what it can do. But they're not always sure. That's why benchmarks intrigued me, because they're not even sure what AI can do until it does it, which makes it sound like the horse is going to be well out of the barn in some instances before the door could close if you wanted it.
Now, these jobs that are being replaced are more so automated jobs. So repetitive tasks, things like customer service, human resources, but jobs where, construction jobs, those jobs are not going to be replaced by AI. Big plumbers, those jobs cannot be replaced by AI. These are tools. AI for men, when it comes to being a man, AI is nothing more than a tool that will work alongside men. For women, on the other hand, these are jobs that are going to be replaced by AI. The craziest and saddest part of this is that the future for women is really tough. It's really, really tough because as a lot of these administrative jobs are replaced, the only kinds of jobs that will ultimately end up being left, and let's be very, very clear, when it comes to food distribution, one of the big drives is going to be restaurants that are able to operate without staff or as little staff as possible. And that's going to be a big push for these restaurant industries, eliminating staff, especially as they're moving over to, so much of it is done through apps at this point where people order their food. It may come to the point where they say, okay, well, it just makes more sense to run our business, by eliminating the restaurants more or less, or if you do have a restaurant, it's all automated. So the food gets prepared entirely by machines, and that's it. That's really, really it. If a machine cannot prepare the food, then we're just not going to sell it because it doesn't help us and it doesn't help the consumer. And the consumer right now basically is like, yeah, burgers are great, but if you can't have a machine do it for me, then I'll eat ramen noodle instead rather than pay $16 for a Big Mac. these jobs are going to be eliminated. Even in the medical fields, there are jobs in the medical field, like people who collect data and information, those jobs eliminated. It's a reality. And not only are those jobs going, but you have like places like Dollar Tree that are cutting back, they're raising the prices, and many of these people are quitting there. Guys, to top that off, in the Lonely Fans Only Fool segment, men are replacing women as well in relationships. Men are replacing women as well. They're turning to artificial intelligence instead of being in relationships with women. They're choosing that. Don't forget the whole "don't date robots" thing. Let's check out this video from Better Bachelor.
Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Women are already losing big time to the AI ladies, as it were. Tech industries are starting to see that this may be a better investment than the actual dating apps such as Tinder and Bumble and all the rest of them. I forget all the names. It's been so long since I've been on them. Even the Bumble CEO recently came out and said, maybe designing things where women reach out first wasn't such a great idea, because it turns out that the women kind of like to be asked out first. And usually when women make contact first on the app, they just say hi or hello. And a lot of times the guys take over the conversation, just like you think they would. And Bumble's not doing so well, and neither is Tinder. And gosh knows what happened to Plenty of Fish and all the other, Plenty of Squish and all the other ones out there. Well, now there's a couple of dating apps that have come out, or similar dating apps that have come out with AI women. And what the premise is that you can kind of design what you want the girl to look like. You can set up her hobbies. You can set up the conversation type. And you can even design what some of the AI women can look like. And what I think is going to happen is that guys that say, something, I'm getting turned down all the time on dating apps. Women in real life, either don't like me or don't talk to me or ignore me or make fun of me, or there's very little return on my investment, and they're not really great conversationalists anymore because they feel entitled and they require too much from me. I think I'm just going to hang out with the guys, and when the guys are in bed or like doing their own things or whatever, doing their own hobbies, when the guys are in bed or I'm in bed and the world is asleep and I'm done playing my games for the day, I can load up this AI girlfriend, and even though I know it's AI, I can have a conversation and maybe flirt a little bit, and maybe the AI will send me some saucy pictures, and it's letting guys kind of get that one-on-one interaction they don't get from going to the saucy websites to watch that content. And that is really going to put a huge dent in the OnlyFools stuff and the dating app.
Something very interesting about this, though. What's really, really interesting about this is, there are women who work in the adult, in physical intimacy, ladies of the night. And one of the things that they often talk about, some of these women have spoken at like TED conferences, they often talk about how the men who go to these women, they often don't even become physically intimate with them. They just go to them to talk, because no one listens to men. You have guys who've been married multiple times and their wives never listen to them. So they go and they see a woman who gives them a moment of attention, literally. Like the physical intimacy only lasts a couple of seconds in many cases. But most of the time, the man is just talking to the woman and the woman is just listening to them. And that's all that they get. And what people don't realize is that, imagine, because this is how generative AI works. It's going to be replacing customer service. You're going to be speaking to an AI, and that's how it's going to work with relationships. A man will be, talking to the AI like he's talking to a real person, and he'll have a voice, the voice that he really likes. A lot of men, their fantasy is to be able to date their waifu. So you put on your headset and you're talking to your AI girlfriend or your AI wife, and she knows you. She's designed for your interest and to make you happy. And the truth is that you don't need to be physically intimate with her, or to be physically intimate with her, or to be very honest, it's likely that there will be certain attachments that will eventually come, kind of like, that you can maybe strap onto the junk, and it connects to your wife when it simulates, being physically intimate with her. And that's, for a lot of guys, that will absolutely 100% be enough, because in their minds, they love their waifu. They love their AI girlfriend. She loves them. They get much, much more happiness from her. And they're going to want to buy her things, buy her clothing, and all of this stuff will be digital. And the thing is, like, a lot of women are going to say, this is absolute BS. You're spending all of this money, thousands of dollars, on digital items for that don't actually exist. What you guys are doing is throwing away money. And to the man is like, well, here's the thing. If I was in a relationship with a woman, I would be spending tons of money on her anyway. With my AI girlfriend, sure, I'm buying all of these items that are digital and don't actually exist, but they make me happy because I get to choose what she wears. I get to give her gifts. She really appreciates it. And the women are going to say, well, it's not even real. Well, yeah, it's real enough to me. And at the end of the day, you say that I don't have any ownership. These are not tangible items. But, all of the things that you give to a woman, those are her things now. Those they do absolutely nothing for you. You give a woman a wedding ring, and that's her wedding ring right now. And then when the relationship comes to an end, she pawns it. A lot of men would be much happier knowing that even if he spends $1,000 or $2,000 on a ring for his girlfriend or wife, right? Guess what? There's no such thing as her taking it to the pawn shop and getting money for it. Any money he spends on his electronic girlfriend, his AI girlfriend, that's where it ends right there. The company got the money for it that he bought the stuff from, but no woman is going to physically benefit from it. And for a lot of men, that makes them happy, because that basically, that the gesture was received, and that's it. And that's between them and their girlfriend and the company who developed the product, their AI girlfriend, and the company who developed, the software, developed her, and they don't need any more. And we know what the consequences of dating robots is, right? It's a consequence that women will experience, not so much men.
She doesn't really love you. She can't. She's just a machine that...
Stay away from our women! You've got metal fever, boy! Metal fever!
Well, so what if I love a robot? It's not hurting anybody.
My God! He never took middle school hygiene. He never saw the propaganda film.
It's just lucky I keep a copy in the VCR at all times. Ordinary human dating. It's enjoyable, and it serves an important purpose. But when a human dates an artificial mate, there is no purpose, only enjoyment. And that leads to tragedy.
Neato! A Marilyn Monroe bot.
Ooh, you're a real dreamboat.
Billy every teen.
Harmless fun? Let's see what happens next.
Billy, do you want to walk your dog?
No thanks, Mom. I'd rather make out with my Monroe bot.
Billy, do you want to get a paper route and earn some extra cash?
No thanks, Dad. I'd rather make out with my Monroe bot.
Billy, do you want to come over tonight? We could make out together.
Gee, Mavis, your house is across the street. That's an awfully long way to go for making out.
Did you notice what went wrong in that scene? Ordinarily, Billy would work hard to make money with his paper route. Then he'd use the money to buy dinner for Mavis, thus earning a slim chance to perform the reproductive act. But in a world where teens can date robots, why should he bother? Why should anyone bother? Let's take a look at Billy's planet a year later. Where are all the football stars? And where are the biochemists? They're trapped in the soft, vice-like grip of robot lips. All civilization was just an effort to impress the opposite sex. And sometimes the same sex. Now, let's skip forward 80 years into the future. Where's Billy?
Farewell.
The next day, Billy's planet was destroyed by aliens. Have you guessed the name of Billy's planet? It was Earth. Don't date robots!
Now, guys, keep in mind, Billy lived a damn good life. You know, as you can see, yeah, Billy, he basically he lived with his Monroe bot for 80 years. So let's say he was 14 or 15. Let's say he was probably more like 15 or 16 at the time. He passed away at the ripe old age of about 95, 96 years old. So he lived to be almost 100, which is much longer than the typical married man will live. And as a result of Billy and other men like Billy choosing to no longer engage in relationships and walk away from society and relationships with women in society, society began to decline. The infrastructure began to decline. This is what the planet looked like before the aliens destroyed it. You could say that, if anything, they did us a favor. Okay, within 1 year of Billy getting a Monroe bot and most other people getting these Monroe bots, society declined. 1 year. And this is, Simpsons, they don't always get it right. But the reason why I say Simpsons is because this was created by Matt Groening, and he is the creator of The Simpsons. And you have to understand that they're constantly predicting the future, and a lot of the predictions have been true. And they warned us many years ago about this. Don't date robots. The consequences of dating robots is social decline. Men will basically begin, letting society go to hell, and will eventually be invaded from aliens. Now, keep in mind, guys, the aliens don't have to come from outer space. The aliens can come from overseas. Just consider all of that. And Billy lived a damn good life. He lived life to the very fullest. He enjoyed himself, and then he passed away with his Monroe bot by his side. This is basically the fall of Rome. I don't know if we'll go that far. I don't know if we've got another 80 years the way things are going. Regardless, guys, I'm all for it. God bless Billy. Guys, don't forget that I have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to it in the description of the video. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Support my work. Also, if you're enjoying the content on this channel and you want to see even more content like the content on this channel, on the Angry Guy channel, head over to Men Walking Away. I post daily videos over there discussing the same topics you'll find on the Angry Guy channel. If you want even more content like this content, head over to the Angry Guy channel. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel, support my work, enjoy the content. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Another nail in the coffin for society, or a new lifeline for lonely men? I want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. So let's talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away. And cheers.